Hey everybody, this is Scott. Today is Saturday, June 6th, 2020, and today is the first run day on the Garden Railroad. I'm quite a bit behind this year. I usually start working on the railroad in April, and it's now June. Haven't had a chance to work on the Garden Railroad much this spring mainly because I've been working a lot. But finally able to do some work. I've done a few things this spring. I got the wing walls in place for the tunnel. I found out they are Aristocraft, the tunnel portal, and I found a set of wing walls on eBay. It's a little bright today, but I'm making this video because today I'm going to start working over here. I'm going to be working on this section. I ran the first train of the year earlier today. It's still out here. I will make a separate video for the run this morning. It is the Mr. Calvin Memorial Run. It was run in his honor. Mr. Calvin is no longer with us this year. I will make a video about the run, and I made the first video of the Garden Railroad for this year that I made, I think, in April. I talked about Mr. Calvin. But that's his train. I'm going to start working in here today. Finally, I borrowed a large moving dolly, and I'm going to move cinder blocks. My back has told me that it will no longer be a part of lifting cinder blocks. It told me that earlier this year, and I'm going to listen to it, and I'm not going to lift cinder blocks myself without mechanical help. So, just a quick update. This will be part one of this weekend's video. I'll probably do a second part probably end of day tomorrow, Sunday. I'm going to get buildings out, I'm going to start on the yard, and I'm going to start work over in the pond area. Okay, that is it for now. See you in a little bit. Hey everybody, this is Scott. Today is Sunday, June 7th, 2020. And doing an update on the Garden Railroad. Got a lot done this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Big project was I started working over here. As I said in the video yesterday, part one, I am no longer lifting cinder blocks by hand. I used to bend down. I would lift with my legs. I knew how to lift. I would bend down, lift a cinder block, put it in the wheelbarrow. You know, I'd lift it up to waist level. And I turned 50 a year ago, and my 50-year-old vertebrae have told me, we're not lifting cinder blocks anymore. So I borrowed a big dolly, and I moved all these cinder blocks. They were stacked over here, and I used the dolly and I rolled them along the ground, and I got them all in place with barely any lifting. This is going to be the foundation of the large wood trestle, curved trestle. The track that's on this temporary scrap wood bridge is going to be replaced by a trestle, and that's the upper pond in place now. This has all been part of the plan for the Garden Railroad from the very beginning when I first sketched it out 10 years ago, and I knew what I wanted to do in here, but I didn't know how exactly it was going to be done. I haven't talked about the details of this corner too much. So I've got 5 kind of separate things that are going to go in here, and they all have to be tied together somehow. Number one, I also built this weekend. That's the water wheel. I got that in place. The water wheel will have a waterway on the side of it that will spin the wheel, and then the water will come down to the lower pond. That's number one. Number two is the upper pond, which is now in place. Number three is going to be the large lower pond, which is going to be in this area, pretty much at ground level. Number four is the large wood trestle that's going to replace the scrap wood. And number five is the large bridge on the main line. So those are the 5 elements, and finally getting started on them. For the lower bridge, I originally wanted to do a viaduct, like a stone viaduct, kind of like a Styroca viaduct. I don't know if I'm going to do that now. I might try something different. I'm not sure. But for the landscaping back here, I'm going to attempt the concrete rock on wire mesh method. If you're a member of any of the G-Gauge Facebook groups, there's 5 or 6 of them, then you've probably seen what I'm talking about. It's similar to building shell scenery for an indoor railroad, where you would make a wire support for a hill and then put plaster on it. Similar concept, except it's heavy-duty wire mesh with concrete mix on it. So from the mountain down to the pond, down to the trestle supports, and then down to the ground is going to be one large piece of cliff. Be interesting. That's really the only way I have to scenic this corner. Can't really fill it in with dirt. Don't have enough regular rocks anymore. I've run out of those a couple years ago. So that's what I'm going to attempt. I got this side cleaned up, got some buildings down, and I got the scene out over here. I've got the barn and the farmhouse and the cows and the tractor, and I started working on the yard. Got the track laid down for that. Got an engine house. I've been looking for one of these engine houses for years. This is the Pola LGB/Pola engine house. I've already started modifying the roof. I actually bought this without the roof, which was ideal because I didn't want the stock roof anyway. I'm going to put a different roof on it. So I have to build a roof, but that's not a big deal. I'm going to build a support for the oil tank. I've got the coaling tower, and right in here to the left of the coaling tower, I've got a coaling tower, or left of the water tower, I've got a coaling tower kit that's still in kit form. I have to put that together. So oil tank, water tower, coaling tower, engine house. So that is the little yard. All of the track is going to be ballasted. It's still sitting on mulch, so I got to work on ballasting that. I'm going to pull the mulch out in the areas where the track is. I'm going to rake up the mulch. I'll have to lift the track and put down stone ballast. This wall, I'm going to put a ground cover on. I might have to cut that wood wall down a couple inches, maybe make it level with the ground. And I think I'm going to put myrtle in there, Vinca minor, we know it is myrtle around here, and have that kind of cascade over the wall. So that is the plan. So that is everything that got done this weekend. I ran the Mr. Kelvin Memorial train yesterday. I just put the train away. I left cars out overnight for the first time ever. I never leave locomotives out. So that is it for the weekend update. Making some progress. Don't know when I'm going to start on the hard shell. concrete wall. I have to research more about exactly how to do that. What's interesting about this whole corner is for 10 years I've known what I want to do, but I haven't had the slightest idea how I'm going to do it, which is fine. Figuring it out as I go along. So that is everything for this weekend. I will see you next time. Thanks.